go one side or the other.
I don't know. I'm not much of a.
Well, maybe you can go like that.
Hope you're not recording.
Well, it's not him. It's a Hanach dog.
And there's different names for the people. Kate, Michael Krauss, Creation,
Michael Krauss has a Tlingit name?
Shana 8.
Huh.
If you go down 8. Shana 8.
Oh,
No.
and that might have been Richard's before he had a transplant, because he was originally adopted Raven,
Oh.
but then he married Nora. So they had to. Nora's family said, no, that can't be.
This is when
And so they
Jeff,
transplanted him.
Jeff was Yesh Kune.
Is that a Fukachari? Because he was adopted Fukachari and no, Ishkitan. Yeah, Kanachari. Weha.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
But it's all in Tlingit. It's really amazing.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
Basho and E.E. Cummings, yeah.
Oh, that was when they first did the speeches. Does it take pity on us? Is before when they didn't translate the death, which I kind of like actually. I kind of like it ambiguous.
Is it at coming?
And the 23rd song.
It's very surprising. Okay.
All the pencil and thumb marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, they got the downward too.
It's,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
nation story.
Ah, how cool.
Yeah.
Tone marks.
What are the backwards ones?
These ones?
Yeah.
Long and long. That's how they used to mark them back then. If you look at the verb dictionary, they've got them marked like
So what if it's like a long vowel with no mark on it?
It's not mid. Is it like mid-tone? Is that what they're indicating 3 tones?
that.
High, mid,
Well,
low.
this,
Well, Tongass has that.
Yeah.
yeah, this nowadays would be just a U. Some of these. But yeah, that would be long and long. I don't know why they used to mark them like that.
It explains it in practice, I think.
They're fading.
You saw where they pronounced the public when they wrote down
Yeah.
public speaking,
Oh,
where you just had it, where the Gukhan.
this,
Gukhan. Where it just introduces Gukhan. Yes, Khan. There we go.
Conky.
pancake, cake, eat,
Interesting.
That sounds
eat.
By the way, that's the common thing. When there's a thing with speaking, a style of speaking, they just do yuchatank rather than yuchatangi.
Oh,
Khan
Speech.
yuchatank.
yeah. We're going to use language in public.
That's pretty cool.
I found it was in the last Native Language Archives. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just
It really is. That's some of the best stuff. A lot of recordings there now too.
Yeah.
I think James Crippen was it just because he was just throwing stuff on there. You know.
We used to go up there and just scan stuff. Just
Yeah.
Scan. Which is why we've got a bunch of stuff online.
It's great. Yeah, the only problem is it's a slow server.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Well, I was,
yeah.
I heard that for the recordings, it grabs the tape and it puts it into a tape recorder. That's what I was pulling my leg because I feel like serious. But sometimes you gotta wait like 45 minutes. And all of a sudden it's just playing in the background.
I was using it at like 3 a.m. last night, and so it was like downloading like that because I don't think there was anybody else using it.
Maybe the tape
Yeah.
recorder wasn't being used.
But it's true that the documents, the art, the paper, even the
Yeah.
papers without the recordings, some of the best stuff that's out there.
I found like Tlingit
Yeah.
Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy
And I
Holiday.
thought you were gonna say it's like Tlingit Christmas to access that, and it is, you know. So.
There was Jeff Lear transcribed "Summertime" by Billy Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Alaskan Native English Archives.
yeah, you
I
could,
found this Ankh scene by Angela Sidney on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And it was like super fast and
Oh yeah.
lots of voiced and unvoiced L's. I
really.
didn't really get anything. She'd be like, "Duh, this
Huh.
particular guy. duh."
Uh-huh.
And Jeff Lear was like sitting there talking. Like,
That's Ida Kalmegan, that's her mom.
Yeah, she was great. She knew her stuff.
She knew Tagish.
Julie Cruikshank, just too bad. She overly justifies the use of English. Julie Cruikshank. Oh, they really want to communicate. It's better in English, you know. That's the worst.
Huh.
Can you go
Trying
back
to
to
trust
Basho?
me.
Can you go back to no,
Oh, there's Basho?
Yeah.
Cool.
Does anybody know, can somebody translate that for me?
The fog of the clouds is planted. Sometimes, say,
Sech helps people.
say,
Watch.
say.
To watch the movie.
Or sometimes the people rest. Oh, sometimes people rest
Oh, yeah.
watching the moon, from watching the moon.
Kitindach. Huh. Kaku.
The fog is, yeah.
Nakatsi.
The planted, the sitting there, or settled, the settled fog sometimes.
Nagatsi. What is that? Nagatsi.
I think it's settled.
Like,
The settled fog sometimes makes the people rest from watching. No, from watching the moon, though. Does that make sense? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. The settled fog sometimes makes the people rest from watching the moon. That's what I guess right now.
Is that like people lake?
Oh, cool. Uh-huh. Ancient little lake.
Ako, yeah. Hindu Chakwan.
Uchi, Kwan,
Chakwan.
Mr. Kwan,
Kwan.
Chishka.
It's spread out
Oh, in the ancient
of a
lake,
frog or a bird. It's
the frog
spread out.
is spread out in the water, which kachishka.
Ish.
Chish. Chish.
Splashed.
Oh,
Ishja.
splashing.
Splashing.
It's like the sound.
In the ancient lake, the frog is spread out in the water, splashing. This is, I love this.
Do you think that
Fashion.
Nuggets E is a fox?
Oh,
Does that make sense?
that's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Nuggets A. I don't know.
Cloud fogs.
Now we're,
Cloud
now we're
Fox.
translating poetry. It's been translated to Tlingit back into English, and we don't know the poems. It's kind of fun.
I think it's that the Gas. It's from that. It's from settled or
Gods.
went
Yeah.
or
If it's got that high tone, right?
yeah.
There's 8 things.
Let's see.
I think it's the next one down. I couldn't figure that out.
This one.
Who knows if the moon's a balloon? Could this be, who knows if the moon's a balloon coming out of a keen city in the sky filled with pretty people? No, it's got 10 lines or something. Go sailing, no, okay, sorry, that's not it.
Looks like haikus.
Yeah.
Came from a haiku.
Okay, so-
Although I don't know
Oh,
if
did the
it's trying to do
syllables
that.
match?
Boots? No, gods. No. Like,
Well, I mean,
Hard.
even then they didn't do the syllables. A lot of times they
Oh, sorry.
bash on all those guys.
I'll shoot him.
And who are the other ones?
It's a lot of fun.
fun. Okay.
From some heady days.
Heady days. Chahi, Kagwas, Sumik, and Achtin, Get to Teen, Shakshani Ish, Chitwu, Kasti.
Okay. Is it Sumik or Sumik?
I'm not sure. I think it's just Sumic.
Okay.
Someone was telling me it might be Somic. I'm not sure. Could be. I was talking to one of the students from up north, and they said that's their sister's name, and names in Nubia kind of.
Interchangeable.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's just like the person just keeping
Yeah.
the name alive. Like my Uncle Willie gave my youngest daughter his name. You know. Thought it was cool.
Ja, ach, du hast gut, just tu ach, iskatniki. Was yan shuhi huchi ai ush kagachtilla an kwis the kachkatniki da. Ito was a guge just kashahit da sa ito was a gu da you khewatani. The yagan. But yeah, kaidu shuka ka ashu. Gachtul sa, Jen kat when it's kanach kochwe gachtul da. You echt was what Cajun when it's kanach aya kanai hayu khatam gitin.
Mati.
Gay when
Tish.
echawe
Yandi kakinak. Johan.
sisakat siu khak hutsu akhe tichitu.
Gusu, ye, kwa,
Was young.
Chish, Kagmask, or Kaskawuk ate
Het was zo, oké.
Kwasi Ach, Yashkasniki. Just the cut at the Yakwahe Gutsiti, you are
Ayachawe.
Chak Awa, Atkan Ani, Akhe Wuhi Yata. Yada Katsku, are you Aktansini Duosang?
Oh, wow. So
Okay, Tish.
Atkan Ani Awa, Has Atkan Dutsa Kadish. Aktansin Awa, As Ashkus Yat, Play Ausatin. Chat at Satan an cag atsuachich ye asaka ke a kausitzech ach shuachich aka awe we pu'u du gedi uat chat kwani awe hastu yat uashich hastu yach ke al du wachshik awe te chahayach Tlingit awe du yus kausi at Tlingit yu katangi tunach hagu hayin hayagu yiktgu du chayach uagut tatsin hastu yagu yitwugut we kain Shukwa hin kanach ikide hasuwacha tes awasku wasa at nanen gusu du tla gusu du ish tes awasku just du chuk ye wuti de kik hasuwacha we chat kwani yagutin aka awe talk ite de puk waha we chat kwani hastu shade honey we kus ye kuseka kain kaudatan yak duin gach tutan tatsin pa tu kaksakihini de tak ite awe stakat atwudu wakun we chat kwani shade honey aktatsin du khantu wakat du ina kawanik nechte gach tu kha yek pisatin itla khat dak ye jene du dayin yek pinuk gach igach satin away itla kek kwa ik echa hat gai shat he hat aya khat yasatin idu wakech igatu de idatak estasa tuk pinuk Saikigi hastu yagutin kuchte hasawacha ausatin awe dutla chat dak ye jene dutla ausatin ke waik echa hat kaitan echat ayachat yastin aka awe dutla chawe awakech akawakech
Du ish.
like
Wakech.
ja du tla awakech on kuk awachich cha ayach ade akawaniki ye agutude o di ek eswasa ute an kag awachich du tla achas akwachash ausitin atwusitin ko ke wa ik ha ach yiki seidi aya asait ak dati en yachat we icht in ada kadunik ashda ye jiwane we adkhan hidi dach ye hit the cut at quad awe we ka wadu wa u ha yachat we kak at satan at hasatan was sit sanit awe wadu wa achi was ash the segu awe aka awe achiyati yadakatku aktansin has khawsi at aktansin yaduhu kucht ju ziha klachunach katu yake adat watusi ach ade khat wadu kechiye aga kechni chayu kawaha yichat du inchnas teach Kuashe kecha gach yisa yech yu chatanditin aga awe katu kach sakihinit yishuka kawu hastu inchinas teach ye awe achtundatanich city Chish.
Jeez. Cha, Kecha, Akrish go Hasahan, Aktatsin, gonna chish away, gonna chish, I Takunach uke, are they keys the niki, yeah.
Chish.
Kecha, Daartoch dit aan ishkat nege ichtikish gunanas shada hasjahe as deki na hasjahe de kabdus nege ya hastu we aktatsin du ish our kech we hard akwa we du klar ke we ik en Yeos and then we're shit that team we're hard da atu where katu kak saki in where katu sagutin yakudu a kuch katu saguka yakudu a kuch where hard pani where yada katsko klach kunach de tu yanigo ya hat pani has to khuyeti ye achaya kau do a ka where hat on how has to shade honey where ya doing
would do a ton where Katu Kasaki Hini there. You would do Tlayek where Katu Kasaki Hini that Shishko Has Katu Nahu Shadak Haskau. Gwaith Kixadiaya has to Shishko Has Achawa Deshitan has to Shishko Has Kixadi. We have to the Tani Aqua Takunahuk Ishkatnike Chish Atsu Katkau who what Achaya Teich Afrika Takunach Hosihan Achishko Yacheti Hutsu Dushishko Ducheva Shishko Achaya Achtu Yakem Chish. Oh, you can.
The Kachkashniki is by a bush.
Yeah, well. Oh, Aqua. Achishko Has Yadashi at Weshkashnik. I do in Kabdu and doing Kakwanik where Shkashnik that. Taku Kansai Gunchish. Ade Tatu just to cut you on too. Achtwasigu Skachwasni Gi Hats too. Cisco has start. Kaka Yebu a song. Kaka where Shitka Akieguti, Akiehasuti, Kaka Kadushat. Dushat ko aya tu sagutin way East Ka. Ajaya Jasakede at to the ton do Huchdat where Kaka Dushat. Achaya Uke Uati Adeus ne yeah where to shut where Tika Aya at Wugud Tika Aya Wugud Kaka where Teka Akushtanin Tiwu di TUDS ISA just to cut at dudes in there where TUD teen has to da adi where what has to hit soon has to hit that has to kagu just to cut at Achaya TUD Kawukud. Chusyan Kuhoa do shut where do Guknach Yelsiyik where Kushta Tassi. Kushta Shita Tassi aware. Yes, I saw. Kakakua Ye Uwaji. Where Buakan Tassi, tank Kushta Tassi, Achaya Takuna Sushkei Ataya, where Kushta Tassi, the Guknach Yale Siyek. Aka Owen, Trike Yan Kuko, where Ka. Where just a cut at has to tua ush has a tua ushku just a cut at where chalk do nuk yan the kin. Where keet do nuk yan chak. Atsu niche yan a good. Where Kukik the cake, niche yan a good. Jutla a kushate shan. Dark they would good with hoots. Da switzer, one so a da to the ton with ka. Ka away niche they would good with ka. Do yaku I'll see yik. We niche do yaku I'll see yik. Yenach da kuwa good with ka. One and east away to do shut our 16. Jig again Kasiye, yeah, our 16 was shut, where do shut. Cook there. Do shut yeah, chef Sikha. Cook there. Tiwudika cook there. Yeah, chef Sikha. Hespitwa ushkuka. Where Sakat there our peach. Where ka our siku. Where our siku kushta sati ha. Do not do a cook where kushta. Aka when tea high what's a where tea that where yeah sin there so best team so best yeah you do it in there where tea would be yeah you don't yeah kunach kaudi hit do to woo with ha where one and is way ko niche day yenach yek u good with ha atu hesh hours cool yeah chaguk subway niche aka awa we hit our 16 hit hesh hours cool we hit ye there were good aka awa do art our 16 kahe has to art has to g dah a wealthy harsh has to art kicksadi has to art aka work yeah where to art yeah shall sit ha ach can't go kusta kani has to huye iati ach can't go shut it cook noch yeah I'll see ye we kusta tasi achaya ha huch ye iati ach ach kosaku la. Yeah. How? Hagu. Kask. Hagu kask. I gukdach kwasane. Kushta tafsi. Akawe du gukdach osane. Du arch.
Kushka.
Kushka. Kushka. Yeah, du gukdach osane. Kushta tafsi. Gusu du tuwu ye go ye. Ka du tut counted keed. Du count the heat. Du tut count the keed. Shakko heek. Weskasnik. Tlachye kuwat. Neste udi kuch. Neste kuch de udi kuch. Ka du art kuchu one to eat out the sheep. Du art kuchu one. Achaya a toot u good where kushta yegi. Du art kuchu one. A ka she aya atsu. Ha yeg kre. Ha yeg da shi ye. Ka awel. Where one and east away, where John Nuck Aye Uti. Where how ye shall sika. Of the cutty shik as I was cookwa. How when Kushta a jit ye do a du jit ye do a where who Chanel die sit where who. Ach die cutty shik. Aka away ya a wushi. Ya a wushi nach. Yeah, 16. Where how Achaya du tuqa ti away du dich cut du dich a dich cut our shik like a dich cut keo jikin aka away kut utik where ha at satan he where how cut aka away du khun kiyan asdun away du khun kiyan akhehas uwe our te du khun kiyan aka away asdu ikhti Gwas kea kawa shi du shi ye shao di nuk we ka Tlatu Tlingit husiti to ka achlis ka away has to in a kawanik chatlakarat you shut that kushta kwani dat ichte tlin husiti you ka ye we wa Shadach Chedach Ichtik Ish Hutsu Gwelchas hus Shadach ich tagish. Gun shish ka kwallage ach shkalni ge gun shish.
Gachtucha zu Jinkat when it's Punach. Ba it's Koha Itcho. Cheesh.
Cheesh.
Punach okay.
Chwajunadat.
Huh.
Yata. Chwajunadat.
Okay.
Okay.
Punach Achti Keya. Katsumaster Punach.
So it's a break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, 10 minutes.
Sorry. I don't know that word.
Do we have a class?
What's that?
Do we have a class? This is the last one.
Say it again.
Do we have a class next week, or is this our last class?
Uchi Ayayata. This is it for us. It's all she wrote. I'd like to keep going now.
No, it's been a great class. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
You should kind of dig now. That would help, I think, a lot with random story.
Yeah, I didn't mean to just shut you down, but it's like.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh,
You're
oh,
trying
I
to
think.
get yourself in the mode because it's no one does
I
it.
should have said. This is the only way.
Basically, this kind of thing isn't happening today, so it's awesome that it's happening. But yeah, I think we need to find time to tell these stories and to not feel shy about telling them, because even if it belongs to other planets, that kind of thing. Because that's what because we know the example of Cyril. I mean, he told that story. Robert Zewak told that story, and I'm extremely grateful that they did.
And like every text in Hashika.
Yeah, it's by every text. It's by another,
Well, there's
person.
a Hachachu.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I used to think Frank Johnson's clan also owns Scriptu, but I don't think so anymore.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
so 15 AD.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I think they have a slightly different history. Have you seen the retranslation that Ethel Mackinnon, Robbie Littlefield, Lydia George, and the Downhurst did? I've seen.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
in there.
freaking absolutely extremely genius. So yeah, so I'll just send you a link right now.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah, I was looking around. I found one by Angela Sidney, and one it's listed as like an interior version of the Salmon Boy story by Elizabeth Knight, but I think around listing that.
Okay. Yeah, it's freaking just the greatest thing ever.
And where's that?
It's on. This is told by Deki Knopf. It's in Tlingit Myths and Texts, but it was retranslated and just really, really well retranslated.
So it's in Myths and Text, is it in English? What's it retranslated from?
From Dickie story.
Okay. And how does Swanton like
He gets it wrong, like
present it?
my great great uncle Don Cameron was the translator, and so he said when Dickie said do Hawaii or something like that, said "'Tis close, man," and Swanton had him as his clothes man, like his tailor or something, you know, where it's actually just his clothes.
Did they have the recording of?
No, there's no recording,
Okay.
but there's a brilliant retranslation of it. So I'll send you that. And it talks about that peaceful river.
You can't just have regular.
That helps a lot.
It's still.
It's the idea that he was
Those are the
just sad because he was maybe missing his family.
Mhm.
Cusco duck.
And that's when the salmon head person sent him there. So
Yeah,
it's
when,
good to use that in oratory.
There's a Date Kindoc version where he's like, well, that's why the Kilknahabi are slow.
Yeah. Yeah. The Kohos are the last to return.
they've got holes in their canoes or something.
By the way, Herman Davis in that article that KTO did a year ago on him, he said he wants there to be a Koho pole out at, I think, Front Street in Sitka. And when an elder says that, you don't just go, oh, cool idea.
Yeah.
It's like you make that freaking thing happen. And hopefully Chuck Mill and all the other guys who are their clan would be into it. And that'd be the important part. But, you know, I'd be all about trying to help that happen, you know. And it'd be nice if it wasn't even just with grants. So it was just, you know, people raise enough money so they can pay the carver at a party, you know.
Pretty awesome.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's possible.
Do they have a lot?
No, I don't think anyone has anything. It's just his idea right now. But I think that's why it's like when you have an 82-year-old elder that says, that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? You know, it's like, you know, it's like that's when people should get excited about trying to make it happen. Because that's as far as they go, I think. They'd just be like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if this happened. You know, and that means do this. You know, that's the style.
Marching orders.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta get one.
BG 14. Did I give you these names?
Oh.
I'm glad we took a little break between like the epic stories and like
Are you Cajun? I do
Sure you do, sure. Mine was really short. It's like condensed.
You're doing good so far about not panicking, but I think that'll come.
okay.
There's so much to like the story that I want to try and translate, but that's all I got right now.
That's awesome.
The most freaking adorable picture. Oh.
Tlingit. Later.
Tiago.
Tiago.
Tiogen.
Tiogen. Well, sorry, dude, sorry.
On the head upside. It just came out. I said, Tiogen.
Gonna come back, watch that, and be like, what the heck?
How's it going?
Good. Crying a little bit last day.
Say it again?
Do you want to? Been just busy. Getting after today.
Papers or classes?
No, it's my last class. It's
Are you
If I pass-
Dad?
I'm getting my degree.
Oh, how cool. It really is the end for you.
If this goes.
I have confidence that it will.
I'm good up until like the middle of my story. Then I'm like,
I just I tried to do kind of like a gray morning thing with my story. So I drew out pictures, wrote phrases.
how far did it take a break? I want to come into it again and see if I get interrupted.
So I try to picture like each thing that I drew. So I just take really long breaks thinking about it. I get stuck in a couple of places, but mostly I just have a lot of silence.
So what's your degree, what's your baby?
It's a liberal arts degree in Scandinavian studies. Focus. I don't even remember what the focus is on. I've been in school so long.
You have a job?
I do.
Hooray, where's your job?
Sea Loss and Heritage.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Terrific.
it's a good experience. Not something I definitely want to stay in, but it's a good experience to figure out how to get what I want to accomplish. Or to be more helpful, to get other things accomplished.
And were you around their archive system too?
Yeah, archives is crazy down there.
Mhm.
It's amazing. I can't wait till it opens up.
Till it opens up?
Yeah, they're still getting organized. She's had to
Like to the public?
yeah. And it's just been like reorganized, like
Like the museum or the archives?
downstairs.
The room is astounding, and then there's all these, bookcases on tracks.
Yeah,
Which
Yeah.
push together and open up and.
yeah. I've been in there, but I didn't know they were opening up to the public.
We got a little tour of it from Nadine a couple weeks ago. And it's just amazing how much stuff I had.
Yeah.
There's things down there that I've never known existed. And it's just great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Well, they just got a bunch of new stuff. Did you get there for that?
Yeah. They did. I don't know about all the stuff that they did get. but
They got like a bunch of Nathan Jackson carvings.
It's crazy. It's scary too because there's things down there that I would never touch.
Yeah.
Be sure to stop at the Cyril George reading table.
Yeah.
No, Gregory made a plaque for it.
I saw that. I saw it when I went down there. It's amazing.
It's like Jeopardy. We need to have the Jeopardy.
Let's do it. It's a hey, I'm saying.
I thought she was in the paper.
Did you check that out? was crazy. I've done one day.
You should.
Right between the slip, right between the knee
I haven't seen the whale. Is it there when you were there?
No, but my friend took a picture of it.
Wow.
But dude,
Yeah, I brought my camera down there. There's so many people.
Sunny. Sunny away.
Sea lion swam right by it. I must have been just wondering what it was or something. I bet you found a cool shot.
Skip Ray posted a photo. There were so many tens of thousands of
Yeah.
cars, the water was black.
I thought this
Costco duck. Yeah, what's up?
I saw a baby seal.
Big
too,
plane.
Right when you walk down there. Just, there are a bunch of seals sitting there and then it would come up every once in a while. And just like the water be black. You can see where the school of fish ended.
Oh, great, the sea lions in the harbor.
Outside, yeah, deep sea.
Oh, wow.
I like, there's an article that came up. These people who found this baby seal
Oh, yeah.
and they were watching it for days. And it was, for whatever reason, the mother never came back. So they called and people went and took care of it and adopted it or whatever. So they went to Tlingit elder for a name. They can give the seal a name, baby seal. And they asked for a fossil. So it's called Sa Yati. That's the name. You want to give it a cute name, call it Flipper.
Like geese? No. No,
We should have Kogish.
no, the, one name for Flipper.
Oh,
Isn't it geese?
Dean.
Dean, that's what it was, okay.
At Kasha Dudley Kindachuni.
At kad da duji.
At Kasha Dudley
Ashe duji. Kindachi.
Kindachuni.
That's the way.
Hat Khius Ada Kliatke Kindachuni Katsuni
Oh.
At
So kinsa?
At Kasha Dudley Kindachuni.
At kasa duji kindachi. Okay.
Oh, Yekoyasaka. You told the people you were trying to say?
Yeah,
Yekoyasaka.
that was it, yeah. Kuyausaka.
Yeah.
Kusaka.
It's the duck that lures them in. Lures something in. A wooden fake duck. I don't even know what you call them in English. Fake ducks. Decoy.
Wait, one more time.
I'd call it duty. I'd call it duty. Kindachuni. And it could be a, it's not a kindachuni. A walk.
Okay. Sheesh.
Okay, hot.
That's it.
Which go how you that for?
Ish kayai kakatan. Kakpatan. Question. Kaske kedach katsu. Yak khanta kedach. Question. Kaikati yawe. Nich kayesh loyat uwakat. One in this way dasa I was a teen. Yai are you? Yai. Yawaha you yai. Yawaha. A to the shot, yes. Yak kwaha. Ayak kwadlak. Skea duck. Cook padakin. Play yak dick padakin. Yayak day. Regawe adak with the pinyesh. Play a yakdeo. Play out, shoot out the ak. Clay at crushed ooze. Yow at crushed ooze. I train not. I train yawa wahayesh. One in his way, Clay hooch. zorgig, goed. Ana you, yes, do it yanu aha, ana you. Yesu deya ayakadi koa, ya ayakadi, stikat ya ayakadi, stikat ya itai awaka. Da sakswesha da kaushiach. Wanani sawaya teich acha wachash, kawuna yuyai. Doing away at Wushahash. Shikayed Kshe Hangashahashi. Yula. Shikayed Kshe Hangashahashi was Haze. Shikayed Kshe Hangashahashi. Shikayed Kshe Hangashahashi. Yud away at Wushahash. Two Archianach. A year was sock, Shikay. Out. Cut. At Wushahash. One any away a Dutchy do Ash a sewa. Ya yud satan. Ya yud satan. I go away. Ish ye awaka. Adu ski ka kanach anka shaku wayayik Kayach de Pini Aduski Pa Kanach Angahashaku Wayayik de Kech de Pini Adakri do where Dadri like your way Hayaka Das away Dadri Yes Yawaka Ear Achke Anach Anach too good Nishte Anach too good Nishte at our good Adakri has to talk has to ish do e day is yawaka a tree ish ya it's a time ya it's a time one is away Antopini a day at what I do ski pa kana hanga rashaku wayayik da kech de pini Yechaya Kayesh Antopini ko das away the Wayai at Uakash Antopini Wanani sawe. Anak kuda penyesh. Where and penny ko up. Yes, our car. Chake the pain. Chake the pain. Wanani sawe. Kawahi the pain. Kawahi the pain. Kai. Yes. Away. Kind the pen. Akawe. Dad is. You dad is. Akawe. Anya. Uwagatiyesh. Dasi dine. Yai. Away. Do what? Yai away do what?
Efasa uti.
How? To the gear do arch. Yes, I come. To the do arch. Katsu. A tunach. K at would a pen. Das away. Can you clear the car? You will do away. So ye at one. I really want to clean our car. Okay, cut has to here. Away you nashik gas one is away. Ye has with the gas. Yes, car. They are ye would ye are with you. Okay. Click the cut as soon as you go with with a pen. Yadu.
Cheese.
Anya Diko.
Yeah. My village.
Gimmick?
Hak adat ach skesnigi. Shadach edach wadatu. Hakwaya yaani. Shadu achich yaksetk. Yan shani ka ikt. Yan uahan hat ashitin. Aka antayide hasuat tatuk yewuti. Kakak nakiyide yewuti. Wetatuk. Date Klein Ayu Adua Chut Asayu Ayu Date Wudutliech Shaduachich Yetatuk. Wehat Ashetini Kai Has Wusiach like Duch 8 Has Wusiach Aikt Yanuahan Ka Hit Cut As Ka Kak Yanuahan Ka Tutuk A Yanuahan Aka Dak Dani Wooch Our Ik Aga Shetuch Nach We Ayuru Shetuch Nach We Ayuru Aushis Esh Aga Ayuru Has Kawa Uchs Aga Ke Adus Ach Clark Ke Udaich At Yaak Klesh Yehas Wuti Clark Yehas Awasne Yan Ashashahini Zayte Qane Hasluakak Neshde Hasua who Neshde Hasua at Aga We Hasdudes Ayi Hasuishahash Hasdudes Ayi Hasawa Shot Yak Yikt Kakwe di Shukaya Ich Kidach Haswishagas Ka Stachin Ich Haswishagas Sitai Anach Yawadawe Stachin Yak Hasashayech Kadech Shawatchan Yak Yikt Yehaswuti Shukwa Sitai Haswishahash Kashichan Qinach Koa Haswishitzi Hasayawa Glock Sit Taidach Haswishahash Achaya Haswushi Achaya Uyak Hasashayech
Tlingit sit tai has with your hash to plet has to wash go Chu calculation sit ka nach has at just kat haswicity way deshitan chu hasak shanik naki de ke haswish gas Arclain on hasashayek ka dakka ka ejka kuditi way deshitan cheese.
Aha.
Yaneskach Yeshawat Yesh Tla Ayum Kayiku Thank you to Asa to Ik Has Awajak to Yaki Say Ain to Jack Yaki Say Adame Atlain Qach Hinyek Han Yushach Awa You Ashiab Saka Wasa'atune Shawat Wasa'atune Aslog Ayub Wa'e'akwe Chadriyatan Ach Ik Awe You Kisku Cape You do a sap Ach Yak Ikle Ain Do Ina Kawanik Hagu Ach I Edishe You Dach De Nagu You Dach Hasawajok Ach Awe Yan Chaskach Ke Kakwat Wait Tuchiach Yeti take a kawanut Kakoinut You Ashia Sapa Wananisawe Ausitin You Te Ach a kawati a kawanut a katyat Shach Du Yit Husiti Yesh Ish Husiti Shach Kudziti Du Yadi Yashinget Ani Ashayechi Yesh Aka Awe Du Kak Du Ina Kawanik Hago Achi Edishe You Dach De Nago Say At Uwagut Ayedach Kinde Awas Uwu Ashkaya Kanash Awat say a kawawat Du Kak Hunt Uwagut Na Yadu
Yadu Echutai. Yadu Echutai. Yudach Pua Akawawat. Ho. You asked Denago. Sutle at Uagat. You Shanahwai. Ausatan. De. Ke Alpha Du da dach away, kaskut away in, you ask away in, a yachwadlak, du kak hunt uagut, na, a shanachwai, hunt uanuk, you knock a day nagu, a dach, dark, kanaf ek, you ashyasaka, a woost uagut, kusten knock a you, knock a go, shkakish ha, a shower egg, dukak nasi to a good. Na, ya do not. Skanish what? To hit the young sure hick, where now. Tlach tuashka, kandenaste, tlach tuashka, where now. Skanish ha, skapish ha, you ashyasaka, su a shower egg. Ya pisku peg, can't uanuk. Tlach a day when khostane ye. Please, Gunaye ekada, yes, Klieg, please, Klieg, you ashyasaka. I would uchiach yeti gav, our Atli, hago, yagav, tuch dak go, yagav, tuch dak go. Ya singit ani igachlatit, tlashwasa ikwane. Gukde, chakis, konaye ikada. Ya shanat it. Wanani sawe, hatst, kudakin you to the time. Dusha, a 2 day. Hatst 2 day. Shawat it, ya singit ani. Which away you that. Is cheese.
Tish kat Yuhan. Aktuasiku Engu Aktuasiku Engun bombardment. Shkahigi Chai cooking. Aktuasiku longer. Kutsnuuka Kutsnuuka Kutsidakwan Ha Haduasab Ish has Tlene Dewe Ani Ka Wait Tlene De Ashlish has De Shitan Katapue De Katekwe De
Riyahua.
Hesladat Kadvig that has Kelji took at Ku Tashkwaseku at Kudus Dusaye on the Hutska Kashkawu Ausika Jinahat Jinahat Kuaha Yakwa Kuaha Jinahat Kuaha Kati Yewe we goods Uch has Auchiyech Ha Ani Ha Atu Ha Kai Chate Ha Chatek Teha Hayab Heshkoseku Prow Sigedi Prow
Shaka.
Shaka Shaka Sigedi Shaka Dudat at Kukastige
Akustik. Ye wute. Chate khatay wakhi alashay alwasati. Years later.
Kun talk so what? What's yeah?
Kun talk shuwa.
Kun talk so what? Oh. Kun talk shuwa so what? What's yeah?
Kun talk shuwa.
So what?
Ye wute. Uchoish kashnegi. Fish.
Okay, huh? Okay. Okay, huh?
Tracy, Chigachtini, Gachtis, I say it was.
Okay. Good.
Song got with it.
Song, kachut, song.
So good, Karen. I think you've yeah, it feels like you've
Let it be.
It's pretty awesome. Saw a lot of groups you were working on and stuff. That's awesome.
I had some up from Lance earlier on. I was supposed to give part of this speech to a bunch of teachers, and I practiced it, and I didn't have enough time. And so I just kind of grew on part of that.
It's a big thing to work on, and that's great. So
I want to make it longer. I just feel it's really short, and that I'm just like,
Okay, so there's a lot of things that happened that led up to it.
yeah, that shaman.
Merriman.
The Ich who died on a boat.
Yeah, I know this.
That they demanded the 200 blankets.
Right. And that they just said they were just going to let it all go by the time the Navy shows up.
And it was really about a land grab. They claim it as law and order. Donald Mitchell claims it as law and order, many historians do, but it's basically, it was a land grab, all these compartments.
Right.
They were looking for any reason to, bomb a village or destroy a village, kill Tlingits, Just, Steve Langdon calls it state terrorism. It's totally right. Peter Metcalf kind of disagrees with that, but I think it's cut and dry. It was terrorism.
What was the other two villages? Wrangell.
And then there was not quite a bombardment, but some kind of threat. Donald Mitchell writes about that a little bit. I forget exactly what the threat was.
Have you guys seen Zach Jones's paper on the Cape bombardment?
Everything you mentioned, I already read it.
Wrangell? That's it, Wrangell?
That's the Cape. Maybe he did one on Wrangell. But
Yeah, he did one on Wrangell and one on
Oh,
Cape.
did you want one on Wrangell?
Yeah.
There's one on Cape, see, like, really, really good.
He's a hell of a writer, man. It's sad that he quit SHI, because that was, it was just like, it was really cool. I worked with him for a full year. Actually a year and a half. And that was awesome. It was like an intellectual environment. But yeah, good things still last. So it doesn't seem like Chuck or
Nice.
Rosita, there's not really a problem with them, but it just didn't work out.
What's he doing now? Is he close to?
He's kind of bored as the state archives.
Number 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not as yeah, it's not like intellectually stimulating. He needs something where he's being regularly published, being respected as a scholar. I mean, we have like Ricky Dink, Donald Mitchell, and Ted Hinckley are big historians. Like,
Well, Zach's
so he's
working on his
already
PhD.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Zach's working on his
Close to
PhD
finish,
at UVA. I think.
yeah, and that's really good. So hopefully once he gets that, he'll be doing okay. But he's already one of our state's best scholars, best historians, already easily.
He's got a lot of work out there.
Yeah. He's all about getting information to people.
Yeah.
If you're interested in it, he'll get it to you.
Yeah, I remember going real early, maybe we were beginning Tlingit or maybe intermediate with Mallory down to SHI. And he was-
Yeah, I remember seeing you guys there.
And he was really cool. So,
Yeah, he's set people up.
Yeah. He's still there when I
Have
started.
you been on the
Yeah.
book tab?
He's my teacher. He was a teacher for a while.
Yeah.
Is he still teaching?
Well,
there?
he decided not to because the PhD program is just too way
He's trying to
too.
get it wrapped up.
I mean, he has like 3 kids
I know
now
he's got
too.
3 kids now. I know. And they pay
hard.
$1,300, for
Yeah, UAS is really,
the
you don't
adjunct,
get rich off that.
assistant adjunct
Yeah,
professorship.
exactly. That's why,
Very
that's why it's good you're getting your PhD.
Yeah.
And it's why if I ever wanted to be a university teacher, I would have to get my PhD first. Because that's, you don't get much going on.
You're gonna be gone all of January?
Yeah.
I get 2 days off while I'm there. It's insane.
Working in Hawaii.
I'll be speaking Hawaiian. Awesome.
Hilo, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, are you learning Hawaiian? No.
Why not? Of course.
That's the one I've heard.
It's too easy.
Two again?
I love it.
They have a different word for each phase of the moon. I mean, there's like 15 phases of the moon. They each have a different word.
And you've got
So
the
I've heard,
the sky is divided into these 8 houses. The stars leave and enter into the same house.
8, not 12? I didn't know
I
that.
thought it was 8.
That's what it means, though.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about that.
But, yeah.
Astronomy.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Oh, yeah.
it's not quite astronomy, it's more like just hanging out and watching it.
Watching the what? It's like meditating.
Yeah.
Nasa Tlingit,
Saída away, kunach ao sepu.
Do you understand?
That's like, what's it doing something?
No, not sweaty, sweaty.
I was
Oh, sweating.
I was like putting sweat.
I said sweater.
That's what you can
Yeah.
Sweater, that's sweater.
Yeah.
I thought you said sweater.
That's cool.
he's super funny.
If I don't get a chance to mention later, Stephanie, I don't want to break. But that going under the glacier, recognized as Dutch lady because that was his father's people. Yeah, they still have the name Kuasik and Awasti. Yeah, and they also have Sitka. That was one of the names that Nahan was given actually, because he's just hot Dutch lady. Because they were afraid. Cyril George told this story to Clarence Jackson and Judson Brown because they said, we want you to tell our history. And so he told it all the way through because he has a full, when they did Ishan with the Keat, when the thing fell, the totem pole fell, and all their traveling when they came on top.
Fell into the
You know.
mud.
Yeah,
And everyone was crying. We should have stayed home.
yeah.
We should have stayed home.
So he told that whole story to them because Clarence was Sagway D and Jensen was Dr. Lady from Tlingit, of course. And then Justin said, yeah, we were the ones who were too chicken to go under the glacier. It's pretty awesome how it's real. There's that. Sometimes I worry about like, okay, someone get offended by me saying that. But it was Cyril telling it, so.
He had,
He was a good guy.
you could tell.
And Judson was being, self-deprecating, which is awesome. So.
Aggressively humble.
Okay.
That was one where he said, we stayed around that mountain 14 years. 14 years. We wanted to taste of salmon. And we headed out and got stuck around this mountain for 14 years.
I think that was one of the hardest parts of doing this, was listening to him talk again.
They showed both in the bathroom, and I just heard some sort of like, Hadouski, ha.
Oh, gosh.
What's that?
You better fess up. He's gonna think something worse.
I told him I was in the bathroom and I heard you guys go through like Hadouski, ha.
Hadouski, kwaskate, pashuhu. Kachat ko'ata. Dua arch.
So I looked it up to see all the different names in Hawaii of, Venus, Mercury, in Hawaii, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. Has anybody collected the Tlingit names for the
There's only-
planets and
there's-
the major stars?
Venus.
What's Venus?
Issy. Martin's moon.
Martin's moon?
Oh, okay. Cool. Aloha inani. Aya hea o kalani. Aya o ia. Makahale. Ole. Aya o ia. E Honolulu Mikona o aloha.
I've been reading so much lately, and just been telling me all these different translations, words, stories.
Oh yeah, you have a Hawaiian group? Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. I met her at Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was telling me. Yeah, she's telling me she's your girlfriend.
Once you get the pronunciation, can you just read written Hawaiian?
Yeah,
It's
it's only 11 sounds.
Oh,
yeah.
But the vowels run together, which is different. I mean, in Tlingit, vowels will run into the beginning. They will sometimes, especially if there's an open-ended word before a verb. But in Hawaiian, they'll always.
There's a Scottish guy who's learning Gaelic that I met a couple months ago. I was trying to explain to him, Tlingit's really hard to learn. It's one of the hardest languages. He's like, everybody said. I'm like,
Do it.
Probably a little offensive to make fun of his accent, but he was like, everybody said. Just to cut it. Can't even do it. But no, everybody says that their language is the hardest language to learn. But I'm like, Hawaiian, even my Anupiat, I know is easier. It's easier. It's more set in place rather than so unpredictable with all the verbs and the changes and everything like that. So.
Well, yeah, even that, like, Nechte Atawakut. That's really crazy because
Yeah.
say you've got
Yeah, they were all going together.
you get the fourth person subject, which appears as in the object pronoun as the letter A, the same as third person pronoun when you have a third person subject, and then the ta pushes the plural motion verb back to singular because they're moving to different places, even though they're going, technically they're going together. But then that tells you how to take care of some of that stuff, which is, there's all those different components into one sort of verb.
Yeah, I was wondering, I don't remember exactly what it says in the library. It's like yake hot ye guti or something. But it's like it's plural subject, but with a singular root.
Oh, right.
Could that be like you all individually?
It should be yakehat yiguti. So that in that case, it's one person. But it looks, it's
It might be that, I don't
the
remember.
perfective second person, which looks like the imperfective second person plural. Yisaku.
Hanjgud yede etape good.
That's I'm quoting Dogen in Tlingit. You will go with me in different directions.
Ah,
Quoting who?
Dogen Senji, a famous Japanese Zen monk and a poet.
and
Hanjgud yede etape good.
and tell them, you're gonna tell people. Okay. Chitu Yengewane? Tuki Koha Uhan Koa Kakwasha mute.
Duktut dat Yashkalsnik Ka Kujiti Henyak Yewuti Tlaye Yewuti Wuslitish Wuslichek Kuskawu Yakyati Tlakda it kushguk Kua Kedin Kuu Tunach Kuwujiti Tlenach Shuat do eat Wudishi Yashat Shan Chagut Hini Uurgut Hini Ganukch Kaudigach de Atleen ye tunuk Tunach Yawagut Aga awe Tatyin Sletsin Du Wakshayik Yewuti Ega Ayahat Oh, Ye Ash Yausika Ega Ayahat Sletsin Ayahat Tle Ye Ash Yausika Chahan Kukslaha Slestuin Shaudeha Aga Awe Tayedi Awe Achash Da Slausk Stakatya Dusagikak Ye Ash Yasika Hatsu Hin Gagu Dakun Tlachyan Wuhich Ye Ash Yasika Yan Hat Ihich Tsu De Awe Ka Sletsin Kaudeha Kaudeha Tlenach Oe Tlech Dutlitsin Ua Asyadi Awe Ya An Katutnach Wusu Anka Asi Yeduasak Ka Ya Shi Tlain Ya As Keat Tlukatan Anka Tluwu Yuduasak Sletsin Ajakawaka We Anfluwu Andak Hoot Tletsu Atudek Giguk We Asyaditsu Akanak Gagisaka Tlech Akide Ye Ausine Chutle Ye Has Woodzigit Dukak Sletsin Sitik Siti Anka Asit Wugut We Anfluwu Tut Awhut Tle We Asyadi Yo Dutli Hut Kudach Slitzin Kudach Slitzin Ye Tudatan Tle Has Awhun Tan Ani De Kugwakuch Awe Tle Yotwitsak Kua Tle Dushudach De Kich Dutsagi Awe Tle Yayak Gigit Uashi Tle Ach Akawtek Cha Wishin Kiga No Click Cha Wishin Krayi Awe Achwagut You are Chutle Athas Uakuch Dukak Tan Wuge Awajak Koa Yatan Tlain Yashakik Aweganukch Nukakau Yuduasa Chutle Dukak Kawaak Nukakau Awajak Udakinde Keash Uahich Hooch Awe Aga Awe Atkahasi Wudikhan Ye Ashyasika Aduch Dak Uahut Ya Anfluwu Hach Hawe Aduch Awaka Ya Ankaasi Hach Hawe Yakdach Wujikain Tleke Uagut Tonplaint Cha Giga Kinde Yuyach Ashtene Tlek Wushdok Akawaseas Tlek Awajak Dusaik Wustigalthwait Dukak Sai Aga Awe Yashat Shan Awasha Koa Ya Yis Shawat Tlech Awulsteen Ye Aya Yashkal Sneak Hooch Awe
Kakwon.
Gimana? Shadak edach yashkatnik. Edak kakwan. Edak kakristi wutik chakawe. Ayanach wutik ya elka kristi. Elkak haadchayi stekatchat ashlikwas. Wan paning zawe ya dak kakwan. Which ash ischa qawe qisakakwan kutiti. Chakawe like Dejananach has to adchayi yakunak ein has to yeet etlechi awat we ask it to yekte wogat okay Kas kochte wogat do kick away do ikakuashi we ask it to yekte wogat so ya ani ya shak away ya ani de wogat ya ani tugut at asetin ka ka away ka ya kaya dak aseku away kusach kwan seti ya dak just like jinkat ka naskadishu dukutagu tlas like dukhande wogat we kusach kwan ko tlasade kukashi kriya ya dak Chintle would the tikri at yach. Akul khets ayu ye ash usane ye yada. Sasade kutkukashi shikriya saka yakusa hakwan kantu agut shawachichi kat Tlingit ye yada. Hello jakku as Tlas shadach oudenuk Tlingit. Agaya kusa hakwan ha. Wasa de turuyak yakusa hakwan ya yadak dujiwu. Ka awati like
Ausata, ausata, kagwech 2 day yada. Yakusa hakwan du aninde de hogu. Ka awaya du gweithi. Du hedide uwagut. Aka say yada held to get. Egwech 2 day. Egwech 2 yewu fiyese. Yakusa hakwan du hedi yan saat yak gweithi. Yada K ayaw de gut. Aku ak. K ayaw de gudi de gweithi tudach. Ya tik ya gweith ada tik al coots K ayaw de gut de gweithi tudach. Kusacha kwan du kusi av satan. Aga tleye ye awati. Tukle kufte uwagat we kusacha kwan shawa khiji to a shawa hitch to a shawa hitch to a shawa hitch. Yadak ye ayaka yakusacha kwan wajak. Khoseku yakusacha kwan wajake. Ako wenik den Khande wenik den ausne. Achawe du ide shach de ha achtuwa seguwu. Yadak we an awu ak we an kleinawa ka akat our cook yakusacha kwan an kat our khut ka ke aus out the gun. Ka desu yadak ayaka yakusacha kwan a khunk awajak. I need Danawe. Du ide shaf de ha achtuwa seguwu yesu. Ka into a tunk. Dasye gachsene. Into a tunk ka outlet u. Chasya ket away. Cut outlet u. Agash the cut ya ket. Tak ach usiti. Achaway. Ida Yesu ya tak a. Rekashe has to Tawasigu. Kasa Kasatak. Yata tak a. Kusahakwan Sati Yesu. Hujawaya Tukutank.
Okay, huh. Okay, gosh, could see away. Just cut you on.
Enough away. I think in a cheese away you on. Choya Chikakach to us a goon. Yata Yacheti. I think it you Hatangish to two.
Yeah, we're hot soup. Fish hot soup.
Yisaku. Anakas Kaudik eat.
Awasa.
Yakuskate the key.
Uh-huh.
Haji Kaya Yidat. Katanak kach to art.
Yeah, okay, hun.
Kahayu Hatangi Kana Sina Jaway Yajin. Yewach to us a good touch the cut gow at Yachati. Jahayu Hatangi tin. Kutus tea. Ka Shkashniki Aya. Wushna Day. Wutusaku Aduch Sa Wahain Yan Sakegi Shkashnik. Aqua Yahush Tzakhania Wehakusti Tin. Yahana Achtuasaku Adat away to a tongue. Wasayacheti Hashkashniki. One Panins Shikiyak. One Panins Kayasetka. Adasa to Wasagu, Adutsa Kunach it 2 ye de away has Dishkashniki.
Dasa itu iti.
Achtuasaku.
Itu yati.
Hastur eich aya. Ye away Hakachiti. Yachana awa Shaus Kla. The Kla Adat away. Yuch out to Shat. Hatsit Sketchnik dat to Tuchwatunk. The Kla away stew. Ye do song. You ish Koa Gwekash Tug. Yen ye de Ka awa Dak Kadach Hasuti. Dak Kadach. Isakutsu yet the Tlingit. Dak Kade has an ach. Wush the say ye wus neyi. Shedeheni atwe Kunanatin. Ajawe Kunana she ayaw to Saku. Ya Kash ek ka awe. Where Tawe. Akoa Klene Chashaya Hajivu. Dak Kadak. Ewa Hunki has Dak Ka Ayi with Kunana. Has the Tuasaku Tlingit at Khai. Atuasaku has the Khai. Has to G hit Tlingit. Ha yach. Wuhan ayad na kahiti. Has ko atek. Us ka akin akawanik yat ada. Await the cut kanku ayah has the coasty to echt has obstacle. Die dat coach ya Cliff coach cliff has to washko. Has to was a good so at the husha hash echt coasty. Ja, ach tu was a good has to skasniki that age ach tu. Ja, Gwe Kashtug. Hechasiku, what Saweku to tea, 1880. Eight Kadach away, Dak Kadevu good Hopa. Away, a Kaku was she do shut. Stew. Has to see away. Sa uskla. Dear way to eek. Do in kaushanik. Kaushanik. We skashnik. Ya do krepa skashnik. Do get up sati dach. Who away do ish in. The tasahini a dach away. Dak has bu on. Wush the sech aya. Tin. As to hit ki klesh ha yach, go genki awe, ki kwani, tau yat has to hit the yach. A do tin has to the yach. Anda unai has to jiu, anda una. Ya Tlingit. Bonana has to toss a go, wush the sech. Usanea was a do tin. Konana ayah has to kasha the honey. Do yit where on the una at our chapen. He's with the school one nachs away a koa. Just the cut at yacheti a ka kak to ne. Should the und. Woosh ayat to woo to nach. Dat koa ke hooch. Koa has ausaku. Data tinach sahu. Data tinach saya tiwe. Is ka. Kasha the honey to cake. To in a kawani gook. He nyach away echt hitty. To in a kawani. Who away Jochlet saw a car at Ebushi. Kochte so echt in Epa echt away. Kashis car at Ishpen. The house a cool was a atune. Jet has kaya ako. At the tinahayati gladiyahati ziskudugo. We ka aya akach sanu. Yawer to us a go up cow the gwash. Kunach do dat ausane owe ziskudugo. Tick tin. Kadane ach to us a cookie do who. Shukwa aya yadu. Cooked quietly. Ach to us a go do yet away use in a Kusahanitin. Do Hayahaya use in a Cash to eat a Spain coa. Echt. Yewe aftua sagu ya tik itsu. Ya hit ka a kach awe. Aka kinde awe a kawadu. Aftua sagu yis ka awe ja atawe katach. Khaya ye usne. The tai awe will good. Aka the tai awe will no. Kone awe awashi. Iktashi. Which the cut car a dusa ewutien Hasawa ach Kay we icht away our she we yis kaduch edach hutsu our she Yasu Jin de wuna ah ko ah Yewa has to letzi Yahun yagi kanach away to Echia Hasawa she Kasha the honey to cage ke has gone de hasbu hasaw satin kako yi saku wasa shatini at tsu ach away shit the heni sauku put the titu yak kako askutu by ke askutu ye kehwa push the yegi Sa uska arina kawani tsu adati yidati yis qatlech Dane our skuhakusti da who away our tune. Our satin ko away cup asyik. Kwashe a jean. Our sagutin to cock away our bund. Our jack. The two to he with cup done. And it away. It's a shoulder wind. It's a way out of sequa, I will up Costini. Where couldn't na pasha the honey coa. The cage has gone chaos routine as our team as yicked with your cock wake up. Chayuk away. They will not dark cards again. Nay has what ich away to in has a cowani. What to satini up where cup as yicked away with your cock just dark with the gate. Na at yeah echt good cup away at its 10. What to woo to nach woo she at your car away es was up quati es woosh ko es dasa ayanacho we yijini a day has aus a teen away woosh ayat yat the two nach our unto khanda Kirkday has with the good. In a cowani. Ha! In the country ya. Yeah, away has country ya. Ha! Wishdach away way. Tick. Aka. Do dach away two way. This do go. Play. Adjachati with this do who away killed the nuke. Chuya just Dakun Yagi Kahuta. Hayas as an oxytocin, so you could just see share a year a dart away out the gates. How Shibushi at the Dugu Koaja at Yachati, Chuya Testasa at Wune, Dukach. Arena Kawanik, Ekashkashnik, to Ish, the Ina Kawanik at away, or away Kunach, Ausatin was at Wune. Cheesh.
Sheesh.
Vandaag ga je laag. That's the way you do it. Kakawin it's a jiwu.
Sheesh. Kwasha. Akunyaki. Uduachi.
Okay, awa. Cheesh.
Echa. Ishkasminke. Sheesh.
Before we break up, may I make a presentation? I call Ish up. All right, so this is from 15 years ago,
Oh.
going through tapes and papers. And 15 years ago, April, the Arts Council had an event at the Governor's Mansion. Governor Knowles, my daughter Anna sang, which is the reason I think I have this tape.
Oh, wow.
And Ishmael told, related a narrative. You guys were about maybe 15? I think you were juniors?
I
What year
was
did you
like
graduate?
17 or 18, I think. And,
Well,
yeah.
it was an extraordinary narrative told completely by memory, and you had the audience in the palm of your hand. So I wanted to present this to you.
Oh, thanks.
Hey.
Thank you. Fun.
The glue is dried on it, so be careful, it's falling off. The label is falling off.
Brett Dillingham taught me.
Yes.
I should have actually
Yes.
credited him, but I've got ever since I told the story over again, I don't tell it anymore. But I'm super grateful for learning how to tell stories from Brett. So he really brought it out for me. I mean, I came to be in a different place with the stories, particular stories to work from, but I'm super grateful for getting that start to do it. And that was like, high school when I first told stories. So
You learned how to use your audience.
Yeah.
The energy of the audience was, it was like you were recycling it. I remember thinking.
That was fun, yeah.
Big future. And you do have a cassette player, I hope.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this is neat. It's like, memories, you know? Thank you.
I got a tape player and a CD transfer machine. If you want to
Oh.
preserve it for eternity. Or until Y2K comes.
It was before that,
Okay.
Okay, fun.
Thoughts?
That was awesome, and I think we should do it more. This is the kind of thing that I'll try to get. There's Robert Bringhurst did a talk called "The Reincarnation of Stories," and it's the stage that we need to be at is like Bill Reed, where he went into the museums and learned the art. You know, in addition, he had grandparents like Charlie Gladstone that tied him somewhat into, the Haida way of life and everything. But what he really needed to do after that, getting that spirit from Haida elders, his own Haida elders, with what little contact he had, was going into the museums and copying. And that was Bringhurst's talk. And so I think that's exactly what we're doing now. And maybe 5, 10, 15 years from now, there will be actual, organic storytellers and orators. And that's the dream of Bringhurst just laid it out really exactly that, but it's really not just Bringhurst, it's a dream of all those elders and all the things that they talked about. Sometimes it feels like people will go, oh yeah, whoa, they said awesome stuff. Whoa, Nora Downhauer, she's my teacher. Whoa, aren't they awesome? Dick Downhauer, whoa. But they you don't see them actually doing the work. And that I appreciate that kind of thing. But when there's a difference between all the things that they talked about and then people's actions, that's the thing to watch out for. And so when they're actually doing all the things that those kukedi that Charlie Joseph was talking about, and following through and paying attention to what he actually said. That makes all the difference, you know. What's weird is that the rest of the world treats this stuff like it's an imaginary play world. But for us, when we actually spend time with it, it's the one real thing, you know. It's flipped. So.
Can I say something off of that? The way I can relate to that is that one thing that I definitely feel like I'm just now reaching is that I'm beginning to realize that, like, relating art and language together.
Yep.
It's been told before to me in the manner of art that kind of this, it's exactly the same way Ish just mentioned, is that we need to look back. And many teachers of art, I'm just now getting, even though just drawing art for so many years, I'm just now learning that there's still so much to learn. And from the teachers, I'm just now hearing that, and it's not anyway anyone's fault. It's just myself paying attention, putting myself in a position to where I actually want to learn, and I can make all the excuses I want, but it's all just me sitting in the classroom or sitting with a teacher. And they would tell me that, you know, just look at the old art, you know, trace over it, take the design, copy it, print it, go to the museums, and it was just crazy because they talk about rules being broken nowadays, and that going back and starting with where it all began is how we reclaim that traditional style. And it's just so crazy because it's copying that kind of first step, and then the next step is like putting to use and taking those risks and breaking these little bits of rules here and there. Oh, I had something else I wanted to say too. Well,
It was combining the two.
it's just, that's just the way I relate to it, is that a while back it was the way I look at it, and anybody can correct me if they feel differently, is that back in the day it was preserving, and at this point I feel as if now it is researching and then putting to use, and then the next step is taking risks.
Creating, which is taking risks.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Like when you actually come up with the oratory for the KD. Harold Jacobs told me about George Jim when Harold read to him A.P. Johnson's thing about the fish, you know, that good speeches will hook you. And then Harold said that, George Jim said that, you went, that's terrible. It's like this. But AP was being an elder.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be more like a tana, the octopus gaff hook. It's gotta be kind of softer because they're kind of squishy. You can't just gaff them.
Some people take metaphors literally.
I don't like your words to hook
me.
So as far as the regularly scheduled speech, find ways to keep the language around you at all times. That's probably the number one difference between people who become speakers and people who don't. And they can understand and they can recite things, but as far as just manufacturing the language, there's no magic. You know, when you have babies are born, they get spoken to, and then their brain puts those things together. And your brain still knows how to do that. Just the longer you go living sort of with one language, especially English in this day and age and place, it gets more challenging. But the challenging part is to humble yourself to actually be wrong all the time on such a regular basis, but to continually sort of say, oh, okay, that's how that thing works. Now I'll fix that. Now I'll fix that. And not fixate on perfection or on being where you expect yourself to be as a monolingual speaker of English, because I think those are dangerous places to assess yourself from. But there's so much language out there that you can surround yourself with. And we've got to have more things like this, but then we've got to have more things too where the stakes are actually lower and where we're just bantering more in the language and doing day-to-day stuff with the language. There are regular, I'm not sure if they're every week, Wednesday dinners at Hit. There are Saturday. There are language gatherings on Saturdays at Marie Drake, which I believe are still going.
Those will change.
What'd you say?
Those are gonna change.
Those are going to change?
Yeah. I'll let you guys know when it's set up.
Okay, so they're not happening now. Okay. So they may, and then Thursdays at 11, perhaps not in the month of January though, there's a gathering of families that are trying to teach their kids the language. And it's a practice run for the immersion preschool and daycare, which should open sometime in February. So there are opportunities, and then visiting TCLL. Monday nights at the downtown library. If anybody wants to we've got these Google circles and other things, if people want to initiate things or propose things, we can always, the danger is waiting for somebody to initiate things. The awesome part is there's people just doing things, saying, hey, this is gonna happen if you can come, great.
Or sometimes everyone wants to be the visionary, and then there's all kinds of other stuff happening, and what we often need is the people that support the stuff that's already happening too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what this thing with, oh, I want to start this school. Oh, I want to create this this new grant or this new culture camp or this new dance group or whatever. It's like, those things are awesome, but it personally gets for me kind of exhausting to have so many different initiatives and what's going to be consistent, what's going to be lasting,
Right. And there's a bunch of projects. If anybody wants projects to work on, sometimes they'll pay money, sometimes they won't pay money, but there's lots of things like translating projects. I usually work with elders. It's Fridays, but now that the semester's over, it'll probably be more often than that. If you want to come periodically and just listen, it's a lot of fun to work with them and to see. I think some of the areas you'll see is it's almost like there's blank spots in the language where there's certain verbs that are being forgotten by the whole Tlingit speaking population and that are just not being used often enough probably. And then there's also different realms to speak. I have a feeling a long time ago you could get speakers together and they could watch anything and talk about it in the language. And we should be able to do that. We should be able to watch basketball and talk about it. We should be able to do all kinds of things and use the language, shop in the language, and do there's a lot of different things that we could be doing that are fun and that will create new sort of ways to say things, and then, or just we'll have to recreate ways of saying things that may be forgotten. One of the things I remember and I was thinking about a while back was we got these elders together for these phrases and nobody could think of how to say change the baby's diaper. And we were just kind of laughing about it and just having fun. And we weren't that concerned. We were a little, I kept asking and I was trying to ask in different ways. And we were getting, the baby's diapers wet. But just that sort of change the diaper, sort of really trying to find that, what verb you would use. And then later, like an elder got up and was really upset and said, sometimes I'm trying to think of things that students are asking me. And when I can't think of it, I think maybe that's something that's been beaten out of me. And then she was crying, and then we're all crying. And so there are, but we've got to just say, okay, well, let's use this, or let's just make a way to say it now. And so, and I think we can create, there's been requests from numerous individuals, some language learners and some people who just want to learn a little bit of it, videos on how to interact in the language. I thought we can have some fun and set up a number of scenarios, like two friends who are visiting each other. And sometimes they're grumpy.
Picturing bad acting.
It's stoic. But yeah, and it could
But
be
that's fun. Yeah, make it silly even,
Absolutely.
I love that.
Got all the gear we need to do stuff like that.
Yeah, and on your thought on using it, that's what it seems like. That's if you're a student and you've been in it for multiple years, you need to find times where you're selfish and just are saying it, speaking in it, because no one's going to do it for you. I mean, you could be where you were 5 years ago, unless you start really using it. And so I think that part of it is like, yeah, when we're around elders, I'm totally elders are the most beautiful thing in the world. And sometimes it's the polite thing just to be quiet and listen. But if that's all we do, and we have those fears that Lance talks about, we make ourselves stuck. And all the grief, all the shame, all the challenges, all the tears, all that stuff, yeah, put it out on the table. It's there. But what are we going to do about it? That it just takes the actual doing.
And if you guys are here over break, we're here through December. We're open to hosting things from time to time. We were playing Tlingit's Scrabble, I guess. Bananagrams, whatever it's called. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun last night. So there's a lot of different things that we could be doing to interact more. I think there's a language summit planned. It's not like a Tlingit language event, but it's an opportunity to bring different folks together to talk about language learning and different initiatives that can happen at the state level. Sometime in February here in Juneau, organized by Jonathan Christ Tompkins' office. There's an immersion, like a small weekend, 4-day maybe immersion that's supposed to take place in Yakutat at some point, maybe in February.
It's at the 18th to the 21st. So I heard.
And then, and I'll know more after this weekend. I'm going to Yakutat. Let's see. Alaska wants to plan one more immersion event. Carcross wants to host an immersion event. And I just got a call this week from Petersburg who would love to bring some UAS students down for some sort of language event. One of the things that I would like to do annually is take the group of sort of upper level language learners from UAS and go somewhere and do immersion activities, but also just teach where nobody's teaching. So go to play, there's nobody that I know of that's teaching in Petersburg. Cool. I don't know who's teaching in Craig. I don't know who's teaching in some of these different communities. And even if somebody is teaching there, maybe we can assist without trying to dominate what they're doing, but to just provide resources and say, all this is happening in Juneau, but it could be happening all these other places as well.
I think also a thing always that's present is the negativity or the funny, weird things that people who may be really good, even elders who may be really amazing, and how weird it can get sometimes in the social situations, like, you're not doing it right, and all that kind of stuff. Which, all of them are amazing. These are really good people, especially being around fluent speakers. But yeah, it's just what comes to my mind when we talk about all these different things is how much stamina you may have for handling those situations and still being giving and loving and respectful, and just working through those kind of things. I think Lance is a good a good example for someone who just survives that stuff, and I have limited stamina for it. Honestly, it's just my own personal way, but yeah, it's just put it out there that's gonna happen. But there's still amazing people, and it's just, what are your boundaries? What can you handle, and still be productive?
Any other thoughts?
I just want to thank everyone for being really thoughtful and helpful and being supportive. Because it is, my thing is that, like, when I first came to college, I was kind of the native kid in the back, sitting, listening. I didn't know anything about Plato's theory of the allegory of the cave or none of that stuff. And, I sat there and everyone had these conversations, and I just felt uncomfortable trying to say anything just in English. And, and I've been out of the language game for a couple of years, few years. I'll admit it. I've been around it, but not in practicing it. And so I come here, and I definitely felt like I should have been where many of you guys are.
Ich var så til. Jeg kan ikke nej.
Go ahead, Juan.
And I felt like I was back in that same spot. Sitting in the back, afraid of saying something wrong. And you guys have made it comfortable enough to the point where even if I say something wrong, I'm okay with it. And that's what I need, And one day I want to be at that point where I can say what I'm saying now in the language with elders outside the classroom. So I just want to thank you guys so much for creating this much needed environment.
Well,
No, are you handy?
We said a couple of weeks ago that he's working in the language every day or a little bit here and there, and that's keeping you healthy. I just like thinking about it that way. Like, this was a huge stretch for me to try to tell that story. And I've just been like exhausted and had a headache, which I always have a headache, but I think it was kind of just pushing myself to try to do it. But I think it's healthy for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think all of you can see like just how far you've come, and I encourage you to watch at some point the video from tonight and just sort of reflect. And the biggest thing I think is to think about what you could do 3 years ago, and looking at that. And I think these huge steps that you take and how your brain fills in these spaces so it can create enough language to be able to convey these were big stories. These were big, and it's not like we were just talking about just little things. These are huge things that you're not supposed to mess up. And so it's amazing. I think I've always wanted to have a class that was like this, and we did. Sheesh. And yeah, you got it. There was this. The one thing we'll leave with is I was talking to a colleague when he was presenting. He said he's in Hawaii and he sees all these kids speaking and people speaking, language everywhere, and language college and their own schools. And then he asked them, he's like, how did you guys succeed? And they said, we'll never succeed. We got to fight every day, all the time, forever. And it has to be your mentality. And unfortunately, there are not enough of us right now, but I think that there will be, to create the diversity of personalities and interests and things that you need to really have a language revitalization. But then just to keep in mind that you can't rest. I mean, you could rest a little bit, but not a whole lot, because somebody takes a break from math, like, just step away from that for a little while. Like, math won't die, But with Tlingit, and we've got to just sort of, but you balance how much of that stuff is pressure and how much of that stuff is motivation. And so you're always trying to just think of these things, and not that it's only one thing or the other, but that you're turning these things around in your mind, and that you're always looking for what your brain is trying to do to create an excuse for you not to do it. Because I think speaking English in America and being indigenous, it's like battling alcoholism. You've got this addiction, which is English, and that side of your brain always like, well, let's just watch Netflix for 36 hours, and then we'll do that. Or, whatever. There's always some other thing. Yeah. And if you do that, you don't have to look at what we're dealing with. You don't have to think about what we're dealing with. But that's the danger. The danger is that there's this hypnotic thing out there that will allow you to zone out and just let it go. But you guys aren't doing that. I fully recognize that. But get your gaff hooks and go gaff more.
So I guess the future goal should be to be able to watch 36 hours, right? That's in Tlingit.
That's right.
But I kind of wanted to echo what Conrad was saying. I love being here, and there's no other place where this sort of thing really happens in this way for me. But it's like there literally is no other way to make progress, I guess, besides what you experience often as a failure. There's no other process to arrive at achieving it than, we call it a failure, but after the fact, that is success.
Just be ready to suck your whole life.
That we can't talk.
Have a super ego about a pitched L. Sorry, go ahead. Mallory.
I was just saying that needs to be a motivational poster.
I wanted to do, there's a cool picture of Will dancing that Harold Jacobs took. I want to put a dialogue box. I have a super ego about a pinched
I give my permission for that.
about a pinched L. One of these classes will said that.
Well, Ishmael was really hounding us about the difference between a pinched L and a pinched TL.
Oh.
And so we're always like, I'm like driving down the highway,
But I did have another that, I mean, for so many years, it's been like just Lance and Hans Chester, really, in my opinion. Where people are working, sure, they're kind of working, on it, they would support it, they want to create emergent things. But then we go to the immersion retreats or the classes or anything else, and then the most people that are speaking are Lance and Hans and the elders. And then everyone else is just kind of there, oh wow, that's really good, oh yeah, we're doing it right now, yeah. But then who's going to push themselves to be there too, you know? And as much as those gentlemen have to work to push themselves to try to be like a born speaker, you know? So what's really neat is this is the first time I've ever seen this many people put this much dedication in this kind of thing. Maybe there's other places that I haven't seen yet, but that's a really neat accomplishment. And then again, how far can you push where it's the grief or anything else is not overwhelming you? You know, that's always the question. So I thought the way that Lance put it was really neat.
Well, since I got to share my Chashi photo, since you talked about
You got to make a meme. Make a meme with, I have a super ego.
This actually Chashi winning the Tlingit spelling bee. For some reason, this one appeared like in the newspaper. And so,
$5,000 or you know, now that I'm thinking about it too, and Al Jazeera America has a picture of Ishmael Hope, but it's really Conrad, with holding a picket, holding a thing against violence against women. It's like similar that
It is not me standing here.
the other nice thing was we were debuting the Downhauer film, and people were walking up to Joe Nelson saying, "You got to fix the subtitles. There's spelling errors in the subtitles." And he goes, "What?"
Now Joe's in it too. For you, all my adult life, people have called me Lance Twitchell. People have called me Hans Chester. People called me Nahan. People call me Gene Tagavan. Like all the time. So we're all the same to relate Ka.
We're not there's no 4-day sting operation for us. Chifu, any last thoughts before we sign off?
I just want to say how impressed I was tonight listening to everybody there. It's just wonderful to see that, to hear that language. For me, I think this class really pushed the envelope a bit. I think just trying to stay in Tlingit for 3 hours, even if I didn't say much, but even sometimes listening to Tlingit for 3 hours. I think I'm just starting to learn that story. I tried to tell tonight, but it was, I think, the first time I've ever told a story in Tlingit. So again, it's just a step at a time type of thing. So yeah, thank you to everybody. And Will and Mallory, if you're passing through Whitehorse, I don't know if you are, but stay with us, eh? Keep in touch, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you.
Chifu, isani has iyakiti
Kiyachat Kwaku, Chaway Sheen Chayi Away Ahu Good. That's my feeling. That you're just like that you're that by telling that story, you're acting like your paternal uncles, where you were just acting as if you were the Baylor.
Sheesh.
Okay, tell your get Yeet Claw that my opinion is you've gone as far with the language as anybody in the interior, and I really commend you for what you've done. I know that even there's fewer people, and it's really amazing to me when somebody could do it in a pocket of relative isolation, because I used to do that in Skagway and just waiting for somebody to join and to really take initiative and to take the steps it takes that I think you guys have taken to put the language inside you. It's not anything you can really be passive about. You have to be so active to become a speaker. And so I really admire what you're doing. I hope that we're going to be up in the interior sometime soon, that we can get a little bit stronger as organizations, communicating when and where things are happening and how we can get people to the same places and figure out how to do that stuff more. So,
yeah, and I want to say to Cheat Wu too that I was also really impressed just hearing you go for that long. And it's just awesome, although I'm sure you feel alienated at times, only coming through the internet, but it's super badass to see you there in your room with all the Downhauer books and the Nine book right behind you, doing your thing there.
Guna can be alien, different kind of feels like you're
but
alien
which that talk away in the nature. Atlen gonna cheese the cut you on kunach ya idlaq khan you eat hasbus ach you think ko has that ya awak gonna cheese which aya
cheese.
Sheesh.
Cheese. All right.